You see, this is again one of these perverse principles we have. That clean power coming from the sun or the wind costs more than dirty power. That should be opposite, of course. We get what pollutes, what causes climate problems, we get at a low price, but we have to pay a high price for what is clean. That must be, of course, be opposite.
In the background, you're going to see some of the history of our continent, the continent that was colonized by the Europeans. I'm showing you some of the biodiversity that we have there. These are our tortillas. Have you seen any tortillas here yet? Well, you really like that. This is also the Three Sisters way of planting our corn, our food. The Three Sisters means the combination of beans, squash, and corn. The beans fixates nitrogen to the soil, and the squash protects the soil from any other plants that you don't want, maybe the invasive plants. And this is a very combined way of having a very nutritious and balanced diet. That is done with a lot of the wisdom from our people that comes from the moon. We can't cut a tree if we don't ask the moon. Do you know when to cut a tree? Do you know when to cut a tree for roof? For people who were talking here about roofing and solar energy, do you know when the moon gives permission to cut a tree? Well, our people knew that for more than 5,000 years ago. And everything that we do, even cutting our hair, goes according to the moon.
Oh, I'm a hairdresser.
So, I'm showing you, that's called the cosmovision of the people. These are way we see the world. We ask permission to the soil and to the planet, to the moon, about what we do. But then when the invasion came, they brought up the monocultures, the fruits of hunger. And they brought all the stuff that we have now, like big plantations.
Just flashed right in our face.
Like plantations of African palm and sugar cane that came to give hunger. Today I was thinking that from one cup of coffee that I have here in Copenhagen, it's the price of a person working in a coffee plantation. A whole day work for one cup of coffee. So here we have, I'll show you the world. This is where the richness is. If you see the green parts of the map and the yellow ones are with the less biodiversity on the planet. And this map is in German. It's not Spanish, or we didn't make that up. The country I come from the color is red. And that means we have 5,000 species per square kilometer. In the northern hemisphere, the so-called rich countries have 200 species per square kilometer. So I want you to tell me who's the rich country here. Where are the rich countries? We are the richest country, but we've never been recognized as such because we were told that we need to be developed by the North, that our science and our technology was not developed, that was backwardness, that we were savages, that we don't know anything, that we need to be educated. I see a lot of people that see us here think that we really between stupid or mentally retarded sometimes. And it's really painful to see that, but at the same time, we have it very clear. We have the richest countries on the planet, and that's why the European Union wants to have a trade deal with us. They want to take everything to the north, and they want it free. That's why they signed this negotiation, and in behalf of us, in the back of us, they signed treaties because they want the water, they want the biodiversity, they want everything that we have there for free. So we oppose the European Union, don't you? Here we have the second invasion now, the second conquest coming with this trade agreement. They don't use the weapons now. They use negotiators with suits and huge leather jackets and very expensive stuff. That's what they come here. They not look like pirates. Like before you have pirates coming, now they have negotiators that live in Geneva, that live in the WTO, in Geneva, a very expensive way of living at the expense of us. And here's one of them, Pascal Lamy. And here are the other three presidents playing with our lives and negotiating in our backs the global Europe. That's what they call the big transnationals who are in Belo Center call it global Europe. That means you want a competitive Europe that can compete with the United States and with China at the expense of the third world, as they call us. They say they want to guarantee that the businesses, the European businesses, are competitive and are backed up by law. So they're changing our constitutions in our country to make that and fit the trade agreements. A lot of people, while I talk, are in prison in Guatemala and Central America because of that. We have people being detained and kidnapped because we oppose and we are defending the territory. And we're going to defend the territory with our lives if necessary. These are the trade agreements that the European Union is signing with all the countries, the poorest countries they call in the world, where we make $2 a day. And guess what? They were former colonies. They're making another treaties because now they want to have what's left. And look, what you've been talking about, the energy expenditure of the world is in the north. We have hydroelectrics and we don't have energy in our homes. We don't have electricity. Where I work, we don't have electricity. And to get water, we have to go in holes like this. 7 meters down on the earth. And next to it, there's a hydroelectric for energy to the United States and to the big companies, the European companies like Unión Fenosa from Spain. That's Uncle Sam wants all the water there. That's why the Zapatistas went up in arms 10 years ago. To defend the water in Chiapas, because guess what? Chiapas has 45% of all the water of Mexico, and it's on the Zapatista land. So that's why they're defending that with life. This is the map of hydroelectrics. There's 7 of them in the Lacandon Sierra, in the Lacandon jungle. Just one of them could flood 750 square kilometers, like that. There will be underwater like 700 Maya temples. If you ever want to see the Maya temples, go now because the big companies want to put that underwater. This is another one. The floating is immense because they're planning to do all of that because they need that energy and the water to privatize and to sell it. And wherever there's richness, there is militarization. We have militarization in Colombia. The United States have put 7 military bases. And they have a coup d'etat in Honduras because they want to put the military there. So we have to stop them. And stop them now. with the food that we have, they also want to make agrofuels or clean energies that somebody was talking that before. That means we have no food for our stomachs, only food for cars that we don't even drive. So somebody there is cooking up the world, and we need to stop this. And Obama is coming with this hope that we thought he was going to have, and he's just the same as the others.
He's insensitive on sex! He's only fucking!
But let's what? We are not kneeling down and we're not begging anything. We're building up resources. We're building up cisterns for water, for rainwater conservation, and that's what we're doing here. We're building those tanks so we don't have to leave our homes, and we don't have to escape and be in the north persecuted by immigration, or in the United States persecuted by like animals. We don't want that. We don't deserve any of that. And so we are here to ask for your support in the north. These are our tanks, this is our food, and this is how we celebrate, with music, with happiness, because we are not kneeling in front of a monster. We've been 500 years, over 500 years, defending what's ours, and we're going to do that to the end. Against the big food transnationals, we're building food bank and food seeds. Seed banks. This is a domestic seed bank where we can trade our seeds, we can trade our food, and we don't need to import. We can live without anything. We can live with what we have. We did that for hundreds of years before the Europeans came. So we can teach to the world how to save the planet. You just need to ask. Thank you very much. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. 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 Unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. ¿Están cansados?